Hey and welcome to the Daily Man United News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Dean Henderson may have scuppered his chances to become Manchester United number one. Ex-Premier League striker Noel Whelan believes Dean Henderson may have blown his chance of succeeding David De Gea as Manchester United's number one. Talking to Football Insider, Whelan feels the comments made by Henderson upon his loan move to Nottingham Forest will cost any dreams of filling that spot dearly. Henderson said he was victim to false promises regarding his place in the United squad under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last season. The 25-year-old stopper described United's actions as criminal and says he feels as though he wasted a year of his career after claiming he was promised the number one spot. Henderson started last season on the sidelines due to bout of COVID, and David De Gea's form meant the Englishman was resigned to only a handful of appearances throughout the campaign. Whelan believes the statements after the move to Forest were ill-advised and that United will now be looking elsewhere for their De Gea's replacement. If I was the manager or owner of a club like Man United, I'd be telling him to crack on with his career elsewhere. They could now be willing to go out and spend more money to get someone else in, he said. Whelan went on to describe the outburst as madness and reiterated his belief that it will cost Henderson the shirt in the future. It's just madness by him to come out and be so immature and bitter when he could still have had a job to do. I think it's scuppered his opportunity. Henderson would have only potentially had this season to wait for his chance with De Gea's contract expiring at the end of this campaign. However, United do have the option to extend for another year. Rumours are already circling regarding a De Gea's replacement. Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez, Everton's Jordan Pickford and Atletico Madrid's Jan Oblak seem to be the front-runners. Jordan Pickford would raise passion levels at Old Trafford. Self-styled transfer insider and football journalist Dean Jones has suggested that Jordan Pickford would raise passion levels at Old Trafford should Manchester United follow up on their rumoured interest, with current United number one David De Gea's contract due to expire at the end of the season, albeit with a one-year extension which could be triggered. A keeper could well be a priority for manager Erik Ten Hag come next summer. England keeper Pickford has been linked with the Red Devils by the Telegraph recently, as they claim that Ten Hag is actively looking for a new number one. Speaking to Give Me Sport, journalist Dean Jones suggested that Pickford, whilst possibly not being a popular choice amongst the fans, would be a hit within the dressing room. It doesn't seem like he would be that popular a pick, explained Jones, but generally, United have lacked character throughout the squad, and Pickford certainly would raise those passion levels. Pickford has been a mainstay as Everton's number one since his move from Sunderland 5 years ago, and has also claimed his spot as England number one. He's known to be vocal on the pitch and a confident character within the dressing room, so certainly he would bring an element of that to Old Trafford should Ten Hag make a move for the shot stopper. If United are truly interested, it would probably take a fair bit of persuasion for Everton to sell one of their prized assets, and any move would surely depend on the situation with De Gea. United are mulling over whether to offer the Spaniard a new contract to extend his stay at Old Trafford and potentially end his career in Manchester. With a year's extension available on De Gea's contract, United do not have to panic or rush into a keeper signing, but it will surely be at the back of Ten Hag's mind. Graeme Souness defends Harry Maguire over recent performances. Graeme Souness has leaped to the defense of Manchester United captain Harry Maguire. Speaking in his column in the Mirror, Souness describes the stick that Maguire has faced over his recent performances as vile. With the former Liverpool man not famed for sticking up for United players, Maguire seems to have found himself an unlikely ally. Souness feels Maguire take unnecessary flak for his performances and that all of United's misfortunes are laid at his feet. He's become a lightning rod for all United's ills. All the club's failings are piled at his door. Ridiculous. I can't remember a game United lost because of Harry Maguire alone, he said. The squad does concede Maguire has made mistakes, but cited the lack of quality in the players around him as a major factor in the centre-back's struggles. He has been guilty of making mistakes. You are relying on having good central midfielders in front of you. United's players in those central midfield positions haven't been good enough. I don't think Maguire has ever been part of a reliable and consistent United back four. Rafael Varane has shown more consistency this year, but you'd never say Erik Bailly or Victor Lindelof would have another big club wanting to sign them, he said. Souness also stated that he feels Maguire has the ability to respond to his critics and get back to his best form. He does have the qualities to be a top player and a top defender, and they will come back. Finally, Souness also advised Maguire to listen to the staff at United and block out the negative press that is currently surrounding him. Despite the gee-up from Souness, there is no doubt Maguire's performances have been below par for United for the last 18 months. A shaky night at Wembley in England's last Nations League game against Germany has shone further light on the captain's poor form. Maguire will be desperate to rediscover some form before the World Cup, with his place in Gareth Southgate's first team now under severe scrutiny. Manchester United urged to move fast for Cody Gakpo. Manchester United must act quickly to secure the signing of Cody Gakpo from PSV Eindhoven. That is according to transfer insider Dean Jones, who told Give Me Sport the following: "To be able to shake off all that speculation and start the season like he has is unbelievable, to be honest. He's got 8 goals and 6 assists in 7 Eredivisie games for PSV. Not only that, he played for the Netherlands and looked great. He came on as a sub and he was superb. United need to sign players who are confident and have that star quality. I think they should move fast here." The forward has been in sensational form following a summer of intense speculation. Gakpo's 14 goals involvements have actually come over just 500 Eredivisie minutes, meaning the Dutchman is scoring or setting one up for a teammate every 36 minutes. The Red Devils' interest was confirmed by PSV's chief executive officer Marcel Brands, who said, "Cody had a difficult preparation with us because he has spoken with Manchester United. They didn't come up until mid-August and it didn't go through." United instead opted to sign Anthony from Ajax, which did make sense given the lack of a left-footed attacker and the relative number of forwards in the squad more comfortable in Gakpo's position on the left. Erik ten Hag still lacks offensive options, however, and signing Gakpo remains a priority. If nothing else, the Eredivisie star's demonstration of mental fortitude in achieving his best performances after the disappointment of a collapsed transfer will certainly convince United's decision makers of Gakpo's ability to adapt to the pressure of playing at Old Trafford. And according to football correspondent Jack Talbot, a January move is a strong possibility. Man United, Southampton and Everton remain keen on PSV forward Cody Gakpo, and a move is likely during the January transfer window. Club reps will keep tabs over the World Cup. Dutch side wants a club record fee, Talbot said. Frankie DeYoung is still the unique player Man United need. Manchester United's dream signing, Frenkie de Jong, will still be seen as central to how manager Erik ten Hag wants his side to play, according to reports. Despite United bolstering their midfield department with new recruits over the summer, de Jong is still seen as the man for the Red Devils. As Sky Sports reporter Darmstadt reports, completing deals for other midfielders over the summer does not necessarily mean they have moved on from de Jong. The Dutchman, who was heavily linked with a move to England in a summer-long drama, was wanted by both United and Chelsea, but neither club could get the deal over the line, and with de Jong's manager at Barcelona Xavi playing the midfielder regularly, it would appear the decision to stay at Camp Nou was for the best, at least for now. But as Chef goes on to describe the Dutch international as a unique kind of player, stating that Ten Hag still views his former Ajax student as central to what he wants to achieve at Old Trafford. The United manager spent around £70 million bringing in Brazil midfielder Casemiro from Real Madrid, who he described as the cement between the bricks. Also joining the Red was Christian Eriksen, who came on a free transfer, but the 25-year-old Barca man was always the top target. It was also thought that De Jong was reluctant to leave for a club who weren't playing Champions League football, which will no doubt be among the highest of the Old Trafford club's immediate priorities. But with Barcelona's widely reported financial difficulties ongoing, it appeared the Catalan club were ready to part with their man. The Dutchman's reported £17 million deferred wages was the major stumbling block over an agreed £63 million move, which seemed to have been agreed upon. United will be hoping that the player and his club can come to an agreement over these terms in order for the transfer to happen next summer. Erik Ten Hag speaks about Marcus Rashford after a Player of the Month award. Last season was a very difficult one for Manchester United's Marcus Rashford, but the forward seems to have put that behind him with the guidance of a new manager, Erik Ten Hag. Rashford came into last season off the back of his penalty miss in the Euro 2020 final and missed the start of the season with a shoulder injury. That was not the ideal preparation for a new campaign, and it festered throughout the season alongside Man United struggling overall. The 24-year-old came into the season with everything to play for as his current Man United contract expires at the end of the season. That, along with a new manager being put in place, has seen Rashford take steps towards the best version of himself, although not there yet. The signs are promising. Rashford picked up the Premier League's Player of the Month award for September this week, and Ten Hag has spoken glowingly about his forward's progress. I am excited to work with him at the start of the season. I knew already before how much impact he could have. He is bringing potential every game this season on the pitch. I am really happy with his development, Ten Hag stated about Rashford this season via Sky Sports. The Man United boss is clearly pleased with the work the forward is doing so far in order to get back to his best, and the Player of the Month award will only aid that, as it should be a big boost to the 24-year-old confidence. Erik Ten Hag turns to Jadon Sancho for advice ahead of Manchester City clash. Jaden Sancho has had his brain picked by Erik Ten Hag ahead of Manchester United's visit to the Etihad Stadium today. The winger played with Erling Haaland at Borussia Dortmund and, according to the Red Devils boss, that experience could prove invaluable. When asked if Sancho's advice could be useful for him and his staff, Ten Hag did not hesitate to agree. Of course, you talk with your players. When a player played in the past with a player, you ask them. But it's also our job in advance to analyze the team, and if individual players have a huge contribution, then we have to do our job. That is what I am doing with my staff, and the players can give more details. That the United manager is willing to avail himself of every resource available to him is no surprise. The derby will be a huge test for his side, and the famously detail-oriented Ten Hag will look to use every advantage he can get in stopping Haaland, of whom he is an admirer. Ten Hag went on to add, I like his attitude and how he is on the pitch. He is direct and his life is about goals. He goes directly to the goal of the opponent. Haaland can also create goals. Once again, I respect him, but we are not playing against Haaland, we are playing against City. It's not about City, we respect the opponent, but it's about Manchester United. Wayne Rooney tells Manchester United to stop Manchester City's Erling Haaland in derby. Speaking in an interview with The Times, Manchester United legend Wayne Rooney tells Manchester United how to stop Manchester City striker Erling Haaland in the Manchester derby set to take place in the Premier League today. By the way, while you are watching the news now, the match may have already been played. Anyway, Rooney went on to say, I am sure Ten Hag will be telling his fullbacks and wide players to stop crosses, and I think that is where the match will be won and lost. If United can play Haaland out of the game, they will have a big chance. It's interesting that Rooney has really pointed at the fullbacks and not the centre-backs as the key factor in stopping Erling Haaland. The former Red Devils superstar thinks that stopping crosses into the box could be key, and he's not entirely wrong. I will be uploading daily Man United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.